What's going on, everybody? It's another video lesson coming at you from Coach Shipley. Today we're going to talk about the law of sines. And essentially the law of sines is something that you can use to find either missing sides or missing angles of a triangle that is not a right triangle. Okay, so with the trig, we use the trig with SOHCAHTOA and all that only on right triangles. But the law of sines will help us find missing sides and angles on triangles that are not right triangles, okay? So, formula, okay, it's a formula that allows you to find missing measures of a triangle when you know, okay, you have to know either two angle measures and a matching side measure, okay? Or you need to know two side measures and one of the angles that matches up with one of those two sides, okay? So you got to know that information, okay? Alright, so here's what the law of sines tells us. If we've got a triangle with angles A, B, and C, okay, notice the angles are capital letters, capital A, B, and C, then the sides that are opposite each angle, we're going to label that side as the lowercase letter. Instead of capital A, the side opposite is lowercase a. Opposite of angle B is a lowercase b, and opposite of angle C is a lowercase c. So here is essentially what the law of sines tells us. Okay, the law of sines tells us that the sine of angle A over side A, okay, not sine A, side A, is going to be equal to the sine of angle B over side B, which is also going to be equal to the sine of angle C over side C. Okay, so all these are going to be proportional. So we can, we're going back to proportions, setting up proportions. We'll do an example here. So on this triangle, we're given angle C right here is 115 degrees, and the side opposite angle C, so this would be like little c right here, is 29 miles. And then we're given this side length AC is 13, which is opposite angle B, so that would be like your little b. And that's angle B right here. And of course angle A is here, so little a would be right here, but that's not necessary to solve the problem. So what they want us to do is find angle B. So we're looking for this angle right here. So we can call it X or B or whatever you want to use. Okay, so here's what the law of sines tells us. If we do the sine of angle C, the angle that we know, so the sine of 115 degrees over the side that is opposite that angle, okay, so little c, which is 29, that should be equal to the sine of the other angle in the triangle, which is what we are trying to find. So we'll say sine x over the side that's opposite that angle, which is little b, 13. Okay, so these two should be proportional. So we set up this proportion, and then we can solve by cross multiplying. So we do 29 times sine x should equal 13 times the sine of 115 degrees. All right, and at this point we just need to solve. So I'm not going to type all this in quite yet because we've got one other thing we need to do. Since I have 29 times sine x, I need to divide by 29 first. And I'm going to do that to both sides. So those cancel, and over here I'm left with sine of x equals. Now I'm going to type all this in my calculator, okay? So you guys can't see it, but what I'm going to type in is 13 sine. Make sure it's in degrees first. You always got to make sure it's in degrees. So you're going to do 13 times the sine of 115 degrees. Then you want to take that and divide it by 29. And you should get 0.406276. Okay, if we just round it off. And then we're not done. We got to get x by itself. So what we got to do is cancel sine. Remember, the way to cancel sine is by doing the inverse sine function. So those will cancel and leave x. If we do inverse sine to one side, we have to do inverse sine to the other side. So over here we're going to do inverse sine of 0.406276, and that'll give us x. So when we type that in, 406,276, we get 23.97, or we can round it off and say it's about 24 degrees, because remember we're talking about an angle. So our angle B that we're trying to find is 24 degrees roughly. Alright, so you can use law of sines to find a missing angle, or like this problem we can use it to find a missing side. But you're still going to set it up the same way. So on this one we're going to do the sine of one of the angles we've got, 105 degrees, and that's going to go over the side that's opposite the 105, so that's 23, equals, we want to find BC, which is this side right here. It's opposite angle A, so it'll be little a or lowercase a, you can use X. So the sine of the angle that's across from little a is 39, so sine of 39 degrees over little a. Okay, and again we cross multiply. So we've got little a times sine of 105 equals 23 times the sine of 39 degrees. Okay, so then to get a by itself, we just need to divide by the sine of 105 degrees. We're going to treat this like one whole thing, sine of 105 degrees. It's going to be one number, which is a little strange, I know. So we side both sides by sine of 105, those cancel, and it leaves a. And now we just need to type this in our calculator. So we're going to do 23 times the sine of 39 degrees, and we're going to divide that by the sine of 105 degrees. And you should get 14.985. Okay, so we can round that. It depends on how they tell you to round it. If they say round to the 10th, we round it to 14.9, and it's going to be kilometers because we're talking about a side length now, not an angle. We're finding a side length. If it was an angle, we would say degrees. All right, so 14.9 kilometers. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it and let you guys try this next one. Pause the video, give it a try, and we'll go over it. Looking right here, we see this is our angle we know, and we want to find measure angle C. All right, so we're going to do sine of 96 over the side across from it, 38. So that's where we get this fraction. And it's going to equal the sine of the other angle, sine of C, over the side across from it, which is 24. So that's where we get sine C over 24. Now we cross multiply, so 38 times sine of C equals 24 times sine of 96. And then we want to get C by itself, right? That's our value we're trying to find. So since it's 38 times sine C, we need to divide both sides by 38. That leaves sine C on the right, and we do 24 times sine 96, and then hit divide by 38, and we get 0.628119. And the last thing we need to do, I changed the color to green right here, is get rid of the sine to get C by itself. So to cancel sine, you do inverse sine. That leaves C on the right, and then you got to do inverse sine to the left. So do inverse sine of 0.628119, and that gives us 38.9. Of course, we're talking about an angle, right? We're finding angle C, so it's a degree. All right, so appreciate your all's time, and we'll go ahead and practice some with law of sines.